Hello, welcome to the garden. And I think we're on live and we're not on with two cameras like I usually run because when I went to do the two camera setup, it didn't work. And somehow or another, yesterday, one of my cameras got offline. And of course, tech support is out. So I just hope this is going live. Um, this is called my Just for a Chat, and I really decided the last minute to come on and do this last night because I hadn't been on for a week, and I started getting notes from friends saying, "Where are you? What you doing? Oh, people are on. Hi. Your appearance. Thank you so much for being here." As I was just beginning to explain, we are on one camera because the only camera that works is the one that's at the top of my 42-inch monitor, which means you get to see my messy office. And instead of when I have a little camera, I can sort of arrange and sort of block out the stuff I don't want you to see. And this is the clean part of my messy office. You guys have no idea. Hello. Thank you for being here. Sharon is here slaying dragons. Thank you very much, Sharon Sipe. I did get some responses last night. I put this up late last night. I will explain to you what my crazy schedule has been. I have been off teaching my garden to people who had purchased it, and I set up a bunch of courses, and so far it's been really interesting. But if you took the course, you got this much paperwork to print out. It's all about the different spots on the garden and putting stones in it and seeing how you relate to them. It's a very personal course. I'm going to teach parts of it publicly later, but I wanted to kind of get it down and I wanted to keep it to a manageable number. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Hello to everybody, and hello to everybody. Thank you all for being here. One of the things that kind of woke me up, and I was looking at what's coming up shortly, other than tomorrow. I'm not teaching that class today, which is why I'm taking the time to work with y'all. I'm going to be teaching it tomorrow, so I will not be up live tomorrow. I'm not sure how I'm going to space out the week. We have a very, very, very interesting end of September. If you have a favorite astrologer that you like to watch, now might be the time to go watch them. We've got a lot of squares and a lot of action up in the sky following this full moon. And this full moon is an interesting one because the sun is in Virgo. The archetype of Virgo is organization. If you don't know, the zodiac's kind of split into six into halves. The first six signs are sort of your own personal development. I have, I love, I feel. You get to your ego. Let's see which is what. I'm forgetting one. But anyway, those are the first six parts of the zodiac are. Wait a minute, I've got a chart that I keep around for me to look at. And when you get to the parts, the planets that are beyond Virgo, which is Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Pisces, those signs are how you deal with the outer world. And it starts with Virgo and I'm not finding Virgo. Okay, Virgo. It's health and dealing with the world outside and sort of daily routines and dealing with people outside. And it's also people who are really good with the details and really good with taking care of that kind of business. And that's what you do in Virgo. And it's opposite Pisces, which is the last sign of the natural zodiac. Aries is the first sign. Pisces is the last. It's where things close out, and it's really the subconscious and very watery. Anything you hear about in tarot that relates to watery things, that's sort of Piscean. Yes, Steve Judd's back producing videos, and it was really exciting because he was talking about how he's beginning to think that what house your planets are in is as important as the sign they're in. I will not confuse you with that. If you want to go see it, go watch him. He's really good. Pam Gregory is semi-retiring. She's also a good astrologer, but she's retiring so that she can do a greater study of Gaia and the internet, the influences that are coming in, like the stuff I've talked about ley lines and energy shifts and that stuff. She's talking about that. Yes, I didn't even watch because I had kind of felt like those guys have kind of figured out. I don't think it was a trap. I think the government was just being watchful. I know that Nancy Pelosi is supposedly in Europe, which is a good place to be if you have those clowns running around your backyard. I'm a Pisces, Jane. I have two sons that are Pisces, and I think Pisces is a wonderful sign. I think it's they. I've heard a lot of astrologers say there's no person born in Pisces that hasn't been around on this merry-go-round a whole lot of times, and I know that's true for both of my sons. And but what I want to talk about is this full moon because it is in Pisces and it's at 28 degrees of Pisces. And another thing, if you don't know much about astrology, if you just learn that the last 5 degrees really put a lot of emphasis on what's ever in the sign. And so it being at 28 degrees of Pisces means it's just about to leave Pisces, which means it's pulled up. It's, in other words, the moon spent those 28 degrees going through Pisces, and it's really zoomed up a lot of the Piscean energy. And when it's full, it's reflecting all that unconscious, subconscious energy back on us. And I think that's what a lot of us are working with. We feel like, is this really happening to me? Am I feeling these shifts? I got some questions on my thing about that. I can tell you, working with my people that are working in the garden, they're all shifting people. Some have been in other disciplines, some have learned other things, but for some reason the fourth and fifth dimension aspect of the garden of keeping it not being hard yes no's, not being duality, and just touching the stones. What we actually do in the class, and I'll give you this much of it, we take the board, we agree on one of the spots, tiles like air, water, fire, earth, or we've done throat, we've done crown chakra. And what you do is you take each of the 5 stones. There's body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity. And you just put that stone just one at a time. You put them in there, and then you just write on a piece of paper your very first impression. And it's really interesting because empaths feel it very differently than purely intuitive people who are not empaths. Empaths are the ones that zoom up everybody's emotions. Good Celtic seer. I'm looking forward to teaching tomorrow's class. Some people are in this that are going to be in tomorrow's class. But anyway, it's been fascinating to talk to the people that are in this class about where their journey is and what's been going on with it, and how they're just compelled to grow, and things that 18 months ago they thought were crazy, they now understand. No, I know that. I understand that. And I want to have everyone have that kind of confidence. And I'm really glad to have come up with an instrument that can help them with this. Back from my wandering conversation, back to the harvest moon. The harvest moon is always the full moon that's closest to the vernal equinox, and the vernal equinox is the very next day, or it's either 21st or 22nd. And so that's the harvest moon. And they used to say that the harvest moon was there so farmers could have that light to get the rest of their crops out when the sun went down, as the sun starts to fade from being so bright. What can you do if you do a full moon ceremony? It's going to be a beautiful full moon. It's going to be lovely and bright. You can put your stones out. You can put your crystals out if you have a place that's safe. If you can also just go out and put you in the moon. Where a lot of us, parts of us are crystal. Our bones are definitely crystal. The enamel on our teeth is definitely crystal. So we can benefit, just like we benefit from sunlight, although there's a clear physiologic connection to sunlight. Moonlight is it's a reflection of that, and it's an the shift. So you can go out and stand in the moonlight, and that would be good too. Thank you. I appreciate all of you coming by because this really kind of makes my day. Now, to get to questions that were asked on when I said please post your questions and I'll look at them. Kathy G is going to be reading tarot today for a friend, and she was asking me about that. And what you do is you just read the cards as they lay, and if you are not confident enough in your complete understanding of the symbols in the card, if you have a little good cheat book, a little white book or a book, just a text of tarot cards and their meanings, I always encourage my students to use those books till they didn't need to use them anymore. Lord knows I used them for years because I would rather have a reader tell me something that they're secure in. Now, if it's that you have to look at the book to find every answer, no, you should be able to develop some sort of intuition about it. And I have one guy who never read the book, and he's an old friend of mine, and he said, I don't need the book, and his readings were very accurate. So you do what you feel is right for you, and the only way to learn how to read cards is like the garden. That's why I created this class. The only way people are going to learn how to use that garden is if they play with it, if they use it, if they put the stones in each space and see what the energy is. It's amazing. Just the next space over, those stones have very different energies, and you'll find that. Okay, Lori asked a question that's close to my heart. She said, now is the time for citizen lobbyists to become involved in our government. Boy, is it ever. Full moon, yeah. The more that's why we have ACA. We would not have health care if every person hadn't been empowered to write their congressmen, write their senators, push it through, not give them any place to hide. And there were some marvelous organizations that grew up during that time. Before, people say, well, I sent my postcards in, and then my congressman said they didn't hear from anyone. I live in Texas, so our congressmen lie all the time. But they'd say, I didn't hear from anyone that had that point of view. So what happened were groups grew up, and you could dial through their centers, and then not only did you have a record on your own phone record that I called that congressman or that senator at thus and so time on thus and so day, and this was what I reported, this group kept a list of it also. So when these congressmen would come and they'd try to stand in meetings and say, but I haven't heard from my constituents, they'd go, and they'd pull out the records. And yes, now's a great time to be a citizen lobbyist, because I think actually from what I hear from my friends that are still in the political world, they're listening to you more now than they ever have. And that includes calling and telling them that you don't want our country stolen, that you don't want foreign powers having an influence over us. All those things need to be said, and I know people are like, oh my God, why do you do that? But my mother was very, very active in politics. She was a Republican. When she was a Republican, she was a Rockefeller Republican. Go look the term up. But at one point, she was like a good little church-going lady. She was a little Episcopalian. And people would say to her, Helen, why do you sully your hands in politics? And she said, I'd rather sully my hands on politicians than have them sully their hands on me. And we need more people with that attitude, because that's the only way we can bring change. They can run millions of dollars. They can do lots of different things. And right now they know it. That's why they're trying to pass these incredibly horrid, repressive voting laws to stop our voice from being heard. But there's many more of us than them. So yeah, Laura, go for it, girl. And you can email me and I'll send you the names of some groups you might want to get in touch with about that. Libra lady won one of my keys and her prosperity that she's been expecting. Well, I'm going to tell you this. The keys and the stones and everything I give you, they work in their own ways. And you have to kind of work with them. I use all the angles I can, and sometimes I realize I'm not given something the way I wanted it, but it's given to me in the way the universe says is okay. So for prosperity, Put that on your put that on your full moon list. What I'd thank the full moon is that you've survived to now, and that you're looking forward to thriving even more in the future, and word it that way and try to turn it around. Hi, Skywalking. Okay, Lorianne. Yeah, that was your question. Really, truly, if you really want to know about any of that, you can email me at Nancy Jean, crystaldirections.nancyjean, and I'll try to get you connected to the right people. Rosario needs our prayers right now. Rosario's got a lot on his plate. He's got an elderly parent he's caring for. He lives in Florida. He's about to have an idiot governor cut off what little unemployment and stuff he has left. He's been helping family members get through college. He's had a lot on his plate. So I hope that each of us will take just the next 10-15 seconds to spread love and light to Rosario, and that as much as Rosario gives to the world, he receives back from the universe now. And with that, I have a couple things to talk about. I had someone send me a lovely gift. She self-published a deck of oracle cards, and she sent me a copy of them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. This is an Indian looking up into the moon. She sent me a sheet to interpret them, which I always appreciate because I know people spend a lot of time on the things they create. So we're going to pull one of her cards, probably the first time it's ever been done on YouTube, and this is for our collective. Thank you, Meg, for praying for Rosario. Oh, this is what she thinks, this is what we got for our collective. I don't know if you can see it. It's Wonder Woman. My light on this computer is not as good as when I have it the other way. And that card means, it's card 13. Superheroes can ask for help. Even superheroes know they need a higher source. So that kind of goes with what we just asked for Rosario, and really for ourselves, that each of us can pull in from the universe, and get what we need. But isn't this cool? This is the back of the card. She had these, they're really printed up like real tarot cards. She has a kangaroo. And the kangaroo, her meaning with the kangaroo is nurturing and caring protection, moving in leaps and bounds. I mean, it's just a fun deck. She told me these are self-published. She got a deck to me. She wanted me to give her the post office box for a couple of other people, get them to her. Let me know what you think of these so I can pass it on to her. I know who she is. She's a fun lady. She shows up on our chat. I will not disclose who she is, so unless she wants me to. And then, you remember dear sweet Jeffrey Ripe Color? Look what he sent me. Isn't this gorgeous? It's a purple scarf for me. And I just love it. And it's my colors, you know. I'm going to make him a grid and in trade. And I just love it. And he showed me a whole bunch of his scarves. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're silk. They're really lovely next to your skin. If you live, they're perfect actually for Texas, for us to have silk scarves to wrap around. It does get chilly here. It's actually supposed to get to 47 some morning this next week. Woo! Big excitement. And let's see. I'm okay. So I'm looking for questions in the feed. Okay, let's see. If you'll type your questions in bold, it makes it easier for me to see. I have this big screen that I look at, my 42-inch monitor, which works great. But then I have a little teeny tiny little chat room over here, and I'm, you know, my glasses are really good. Actually, I have trifocals, but Tammy, if you put it in, I didn't get it. Especially if you just put it in time, type it again now if you don't mind, and I'll look at it for you. Because I have some cards to fall back on. Because we're going into a full moon, I'll pull another card for everyone who's spending part of their Saturday with me. I'll tell you what happened today. Last night, before I went to sleep, I've been doing a lot of Joe Dispenza work. And one of the things he says is to plant in your mind that you will be, that you'll wake up with a smile on your face and you'll think about the good things in your life. You're not going to wake up worrying about things. So I'm really doing a better job of not waking up saying, oh my God, I have to do all this stuff today. And that's been hard in the last week. Anyway, I woke up this morning and I had put in my mind right before I went to sleep that I would start my gratitude list first thing. And when I woke up this morning, I thought, yeah, I'm supposed to do a gratitude list. And the very first thing I thought of was, today is one of my best friend's birthdays. I've known her 43 and a half years. When we met, we just clicked. I hired her to get a job, which automatically makes me like her favorite person ever. I'm going back to look and see if I can find your question, Tammy. But I put her birthdays today, and I put that at the top of my gratitude list. And then I went through about the other things I was grateful. I was grateful to be able to wake up and do this show with y'all. I was also grateful because I was going to be doing a reading this morning, except I was 24 hours early, and it's not till tomorrow morning. But other than that, it was fine. Okay, let's see. There are other comments. Have you? Tammy, I'm going to give you an answer to your question. It could be either one, baby. If it is because you've reached a certain age, you can take care of that. But there also are times when our body temperatures change as we're going into ascension mode. And especially, look at what you did that day. If you did a lot of things that had to do with spiritual beliefs, then that could be a very clear line. I know I have in the past had sleep apnea. When I lost 100 pounds, the sleep apnea kind of went away. But before I had done that, there's a little chip in the machine, and the doctor can track your sleep every night by what's in that chip. So every 6 months or so, I'd go see Dr. Mike, and she'd run my chip, and she'd look at it, and she'd go. She looked at me one time, and she goes, "You read on Tuesdays, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday." And I said, "Yeah. Do you want to know?" "Okay, I got it." "Okay, and I'll get your question, Meg." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Your sleep patterns change. You have much more REM sleep on the nights that you read cards." And she's worked with a couple of other psychics, and she said when they are out and being active and working, it actually does change their brains at night when they're asleep as we reassimilate. Because now we're not only taking in our subconscious thoughts and all that energy that we pull in for ourselves as part of our only daily life, but we've pulled in other people's too, and our minds have to clear that out. Now, someone wants to know about moving to the Buffalo area. Okay. Keep those two things in mind, Tammy, and kind of keep a diary. It also can, I know that I never really kind of had that problem, but I had a friend who had it bad, and she used to go stand out on her back patio in the winter in her underwear. And she didn't know. No one had ever told her about night sweats. So she thought she was just going nuts. We're looking at Meg's move to Buffalo. It's been hard going. You've had a lot. You've had a long time deciding which way to go with this. This card is trying to put the puzzle together. I don't think it's going to happen as quickly as you think. I think you're going to have a little more trouble with housing than you think, but it's going to happen. But it's going to be a little more of a hard pull than you thought. Yeah, don't forget the thumbs up, please, because then they will spread my thing. And I did make it to, I think I just saw that I'm at 2,400 now, 2,400 subscribers. It's been going up about 10 a week. Oh, I know what I'll show you. This is just sort of a chit-chat time, kids. A week ago, we did Linda G's birthday party. And this is the grid I built for her. Let's see, there it is. Okay, that's the grid I built for her, and it has agates and pyramid quartz, green calcite chip, crescent moons. The crescent moons are hematite, amazonite, euconite, and blue adventuring. Those are those moons you see there. Her she also has chevron amethyst points, fluorite, fire quartz, and citrine. And the impressions that this came from was the matrix of reflection. And she'd never seen one of these before, so. And I'm waiting to get the correct mailing address so that it doesn't wander off and get lost. Okay, beautiful. Okay, we're gonna pull a moon card. Okay, let's see. These cards are thick and different. It's the, I'm so not used to this camera. It's the energy of gaining momentum. And in actual fact, that's what happens when the moon is building up. But this moon is hitting at a time when there's so much other energy in the sky that we are going into a huge energy shift. Nothing to be scared of. I think it's going to be good stuff. But it's definitely, we're all going to be feeling like we're being pushed. I keep feeling that and seeing that from people I'm reading. Oh, Andrea, she's here. She went to, she was in my class. Okay, next 6 months for Terry. Next 3 months for Terry. I'm going to ask if you're moving in a positive direction. And I'm not using my garden today because tech support went to a movie and I can't get my second camera down. For those of you who came in late. That's the short thing. Trust me, up to 5 minutes before I went up, I wasn't sure I was going to be on. So we got one camera. We're doing good. And we had, yesterday we had a problem with one of the cameras not staying connected properly, so I think that's what's happened. But he'll come back and we'll fix it, and he'll show me how to fix it, and then I'll know all about it. Well, you have kind of an interesting next 3 months. There's going to be a lot of things you're going to feel you need to let go of, and you're going to finally say, I'm done. The crop's in, I'm done. Your problem is you're not exactly sure which direction you want to head in. But I do know you want to get out of some personal conflicts. The dog. There's someone here. There's someone here with food, I think. You're going to hear... We may have a conflict over my daughter's dog. There's conflict that's been going on, and it's not going to be completely resolved, but you're going to be beginning to see the way to get out of it. You're going to start to take moves. The Ace of Swords is an ace, and it does mean movement forward, but it also can mean, when it's reversed, you start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. So I would say the next 3 months don't look bad. I think you know what's going on, and I think you're already working on it. Okay, Barbara, I'll send you another one, another link. She didn't get the link to things. Okay, Patty, I'm going to do a quick thing on, is your health improving? Yes, you found the right doctor. You found the right people to work with you. They're going to help you get out of the pain you've been in. You're moving in the right direction. But I will tell you, this has been a most frustrating journey for you. You had 2 reverses coming into this, so I think it's moving in the right direction. Let me make a note because I don't want to forget to send Barbara her link. Okay. Let's see. Hi, thank you. Virginia, okay, let's see. Okay. Yes, Danny has a grid of mine, and it's now hanging behind him on that, I think it's a file cabinet or some sort of bookcase he has that's behind him. Yes, I made a grid for Danny a while ago. I think I have super chats on this if you want. Otherwise, yes, I have PayPal. If you just put in let me see. I know where it is. This is the other problem is I have 2 phones. I have a phone that's my phone, and then I have a phone that's my business phone. And sometimes it gets very confusing. I'm looking it up right now. It says my settings are. It's Nancy Lloyd at Crystal Directions. You just put at Crystal Directions. And you can also find it with my email, which is crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. How is the school that I work? Okay. Oh, yeah, if you've got kids, there's a teacher in here. Her question is definitely getting answered. That's a difficult age group to work with. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Yeah, they're going to come around. These are your last 4 cards, and they're all upright. You've got you, and you're stubborn enough and just smart enough to get around them. You've got the Knight of Wands, which someone's going to come in, some changes are going to happen in school. They're going to help with the discipline. The world is there, but this is where you guys are right now. They're struggling to get back into class, and they didn't like the change of having to come back to class. I don't think they're, what I get from that is they're not feeling secure. They keep feeling like it's going to be taken away from them again, so why should they worry about it? Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, someone just says that they're north. They're just 45 minutes north. 45 minutes north of me. That must mean you're almost in Oklahoma. Yeah, I think you're going to see an improvement in their behavior when they start to feel secure. I think once they get shots, they're going to feel a lot more secure. I know there's a couple school districts here. I have friends who have kids in them, and their kids have already come home with COVID. I mean, and they're like furious because one's a very fancy schmancy school district, and they don't think their kids need to be masked. And I mean, these people are smart enough and have enough money, they could all buy N95s all day long. And it makes me furious because we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be on those kids. And I know some young women that I read for, usually at Halloween, they're young professional women in their 30s. They all brought it back from New York when it first started in March of 2020, and they're still having problems. So it's nothing you want to get. Okay. Yeah, Antoinette, okay, guys, we're going to send some love and light to Antoinette. Because anybody who's teaching 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, you need all the love and light you can get. I'm not sure if you had my Archangel Michael sitting on your back that would help you so much with those kids. But we'll all just send some love and light to Antoinette and to her kids, and to hope that they can find some sense of stability in the mess that is now schools and the difficulties the schools are having. We shouldn't really give her our sympathy. We should give her congratulations. She'll do a job that I think many of us would not. Although I did teach 1 year. It's the hardest job in the world. Okay, Pamela wants to know when she's going to find the right house. Let's see, get a timing card. See if I'm giving you a time frame of 6 months. Your problem, okay. You have a really hard time making up your mind. These two cards together, that everything, you always find something wrong. The three is you find something wrong with everything. And you're perfectionist. You want exactly what you want. I see finally you're going to kind of let go of the control of this and surrender to it, because you have 4 yeses and 2 nos. And if you're working with a male realtor, I'd find a different realtor, because I don't think he's listening to what you're saying. Oh yeah, Andrea's same age I am. They did that. Hide under your desk, like that's going to protect you from a nuclear blast. Oh, really? I just told the teacher I'm not going under there anymore. It's dirty. I made it to my mom's. She's not politically aligned with me. I'm going crazy. I'm sorry, Jane. I don't know. My mom's dead, but if my mom was alive, we wouldn't be able to talk. So. And, okay. Everybody's congratulating everybody, and because I can't read everything, one of these I got. Oh, Good for you, Deb. Deb's lost 20 pounds since she got my grid. I hope she's not trying to eat the grid. That will definitely lose you 20 pounds. Ah, yeah, and then when you do certain diets, you just can't, well, you shouldn't drink enough to screw your liver up anyway, but certain diets like keto, you have a drink and you've just set yourself back 18 hours. And I've been known to do that, but it's not a good thing to do. Angelita, you were here, you do it once a week. There were people, there was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday class, and those classes will be next week. Tomorrow's class it would be exactly the same class you just had. It's the first week class. I had so many of you that I had to split you up, and then a bunch of you chose to not show up. I think when they got their packet of paperwork. So the link you have will get you in on the day you were in before. So whether it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. If you're one of those people that something comes up and changes, you have to email me and hope I see your email, and then I will send you a link that's appropriate to your day. Oh, yeah, well, your daughter voted for Trump. Well, okay. Linda E wants a message from her guides. So I'm going to pull a fairy card. These are lovely, gentle wisdom, and I think they're really easy to understand. And I love reading them. And the person who gave me this deck actually bought it at the crystal store. This woman owns a crystal store in California, I do believe. And your message from your guides is vision. Vision, I'm trying to I'll figure this thing out. Okay, Vision. She's a beautiful fairy sitting on a leaf. These are gorgeous, gorgeous paintings. And I'll tell you what Vision reads out to me. What is it that you desire passionately? Make it vivid and real, and make it as vivid and as real in your imagination as possible. Write about it, find pictures about it to remind you. Meet people who have already manifested in that life or part of it. And then keep your eyes open, and you will see it become part of your life. So that's what your guides are telling you, is you need to be really clear about what you want. Thank you, Antoinette. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. How has YouTube changed my life? It's made it it's kind of made it better. I don't have a lot of the trauma other people do because I have tech support, and trust me, if I had to handle the tech behind this, I'd be going nuts. It brought in a flood of people about grids for a while. It's brought in people about readings, opening myself up, and was sort of a go sign for like a ding ding bell for my guides to bring in the garden and the eggs and the eggs. I'm perilously close to having the Chakra Eggs, and I'm going to put a survey up soon, and I hope you'll participate in it. And it's asking what kind of, because the eggs are all based on chakras. And the first one we designed the throat first, and then we figured out we could do the other chakras also. So if I can ever get this sucker open. Is it tight? No, it's not. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay. I'll show you this egg, because I had one that was out with an artist that was interested in maybe trying to help me with the project. They figured out they couldn't do it. So I now have the last and only remaining completely put together egg. If you can see it, but it's got a quartz in the middle, and it's got green agate, and there'll be a different kind of green stone because I can't get the kind of green agate I want, or would be, I mean, it doesn't have to be green agate, but what you do is you meditate on those, on that egg, and there'll be each of the chakras from the root to the crown, and they all have different symbols. And if I'm not mistaken, I am mistaken. Okay, here it is. This is what the symbols look like. And you can see the, this is the one that we've already done. I have a company in Wisconsin that is in the process of mocking up those without putting real crystals in it, but mocking it up and making the acrylic eggs for me. And as soon as they have that, then that's the other project that I wouldn't be doing if I didn't do YouTube. So, and I really think I can help a lot of people and bring a lot of stuff forward. I'm actually starting to get, oh, it's the mailman, sorry about that. Okay, someone wants to know if her blog's going to be successful. Okay. Okay, your blog be successful. I've met a lot of fascinating, interesting people through being on YouTube, and it's lots of fun, and it gives an old lady something to do other than knitting baby blankets, which was my other hobby. Yes, your blog's going to be extremely successful. This card is one of those cards that's better in reverse. It means that you have figured out exactly how you want to structure it. You figured out the time and how exactly what point of view you want to have. I think you've talked this over with someone who's helped you clarify what you want to do. And you are a skilled craftsman, and you're very creative, and it's letting your inner child come out and play and do something it's always wanted to do. So your blog's going to be very successful. That's to Eliza. I got it, old painter. As a matter of fact, you must have missed it, but I didn't want to tell people who did these cards. I read your cards. I read it today already. And I sent you a thank you note, and I don't go to my post office box every day, so I didn't get it until this week. I'm getting a warm thing from Andrea. Don't let the paperwork discourage you. It all makes sense when you separate it. It just helps you see your way through it. She went out and bought a 3-ring binder. You're not the first. I'm sending a small rush on 3-ring binders with this thing. Yeah, the eggs are going to be fantastic when I get them. But I'm going to put a survey out, and I'm going to put list each of the chakras, because I have 2 ways to do this. They can make me 7 chakras and make them in an array, so that there's seven at a time, and we're going to do an initial run of 49. Or I can have them make 7 heart chakras, 7 whatever other chakras, and just be specific if certain chakras aren't going to sell, or people aren't interested in them. I mean, why should I make them? I don't need them sitting around my house. Yeah, Melinda, you're in a time when your outer world is being kicked by this full moon. This full moon is going to take a lot of our subconscious. It's in that area. It's in the in Pisces. Also, Venus has just gone into Scorpio, and Venus and Scorpio unearths and brings up a lot of things that we keep hidden from ourselves. So some of our, I hate the word shadow side because it always sounds so evil, but the things that we just don't look at as often as we might. And yeah, there's a lot of unearthing like that going on. Dorothy Morgan talked about the end of this month, and she tied it with the full moon, and she talked about some of those aspects. And we've got a lot of squares coming up, and unfortunately, Saturn is squaring Uranus. Uranus in transit is on top of my natal sun, which means all that action's happening on my natal sun. That has more to do with the disruptions in my life than YouTube. And also, things are. Is Mercury squaring Uranus? I don't know. Anyway, just when your astrologer sends you an email and says, maybe we should get together in the next couple weeks and talk, you know you got a lot of planets hitting you. So I know exactly where they are right now because they're all, my ascendant is in Scorpio. This is going to be an interesting few months. Okay. How's autumn looking for me? Feelings. Okay, let's see if Leslie's going to have a breakthrough in autumn. And I wish I could have the garden out, but it's not going to work with cards, and there's only so much space in my life. Oh, you got the sun. Yay! You got the sun, and it's not going to start this fall. I think you're going to get inklings of it, but in part, the project you really want to work on isn't ready to start. Some people around you are setting you off from being balanced. I don't sense that that's you that's imbalanced, and they're setting you off. So you need to either start doing some real deep meditation for balance and shedding their energy from infecting you, or it's going to come through in the winter. The sun's there, your ideas, whatever you want to head towards, brilliant, but you're getting kind of held back. I'm going to tell you this. If you're going and hanging around 3D people who are down in the dumps, sweetie lumps, all the time, or they get up and they're like up for a day and then they're back down saying, oh, the world's horrible, they may be someone you need to spend a little less time with and spend a little more time with the positive side of yourself. I've had to kind of do that with some people, and it's tough. But if you let them bring you down, then you can't go where you need to go. So I think you've got a brilliant idea. You can maybe speed it up a little bit. May just be it's not its time till this winter, but I think it's going to be here this winter. You tried to get it going in the spring, and it didn't work. And summer's a horrible time to try and start anything. You can, Andrea, you can get yourself really calm and ask your mind to reopen that door and see that dream again. It doesn't always work, but that's the only way I know to try and reopen a dream. Otherwise, learn how to find the recorder on your phone really fast and record it at night. Just verbally record it. That's what I've had to do. I'm going to read a card at the end of the show too, old painter, so hang around. Don't go mow your lawn anymore. I tell you why I'm pulling off Facebook. Facebook just pulled supporting the opposition to Putin in Russia, and I'm just in opposition to them. I'm not opening my Facebook, and I have a person who's working with marketing my products, and they want to continue to have them on Facebook, but I'm furious with Facebook. I'm furious with Google. They had this incredible app, and Apple's the same thing. They'd come up with this incredible app because what they do in Russia is they will run a bunch of faux candidates so that the field's so big people don't know who they should really vote for. Well, Navalny's people figured out who was the most likely to win and beat the Russian if they all coalesced against them. They put together, in essence, a slate of these people. They're all different parties and all different points of view. But they could beat the Putin candidates who are for nothing but corruption. And under pressure from the Russian government, Facebook and Google and Apple pulled those apps from being part of their system. They were up for 48 hours. And their elections are right now. And those people needed those apps right now. Hopefully enough people saw it. But if you didn't see it, it was on MSNBC last night, and it's horrifying. I've run candidates in races where people put up faux candidates. They used to always say, if you wanted to beat the Democrats, put up someone as a green candidate. And I'd meet these green candidates, and they were just people who got paid to run. They knew they were going to win. They didn't care. It was kind of a fun thing to do. And yet, by the people see green, and if they had any argument against any Democrat they'd ever run into in their life, they'd vote for the green candidate, and it would weaken the Democrats. Quite honestly, the same thing happens when libertarians would show up and run in races that would hurt the Republicans' returns. So that's my politics I don't talk about. Okay. I tell you, Eliza, I know just enough astrology to be really dangerous. I know where mine are, and I know when big planets are hitting on things, but I have someone else interpret that. So I'm not, your ascendant is kind of how the world sees you. That's true. I've heard that before. Okay, we're going to look, see if Melinda's main guide has a message for her. We're going to pull it out of Gentle Wisdom. I'm just feeling this is a good deck to use today. And one of the stones in my garden, the fusite, is connected to fairies and fairy energy. It's very grounding. And you're right, guys. I didn't do a crystal of the day. I just didn't have the bandwidth to do that today. Service, to be of service, and I will tell you how that interprets out of her writings. You can do much good with the smallest of gestures, a simple smile, a kind word. This takes so little energy and can make the biggest difference. Can you do a little more? Everything you do makes a difference. So that's the message from your guides today from Melinda. I'm glad you got it, Candy. I know it went out. I saw that it went. Candy got her garden. Okay, and I would love nothing better than to be able to teach the garden in person, in real life. I'm able to do what I'm able to do because I used to teach tarot, and I kind of took a lot of the concepts I learned, and I didn't teach it every day, okay, but in over 30 years of information, how to get the information across. That all sounds perfect, Marie, to me, if you want to keep his hoarder energy on the other side of the street. Just ask your guides to push it away. Okay, somebody wants to know if her niece is going to find work soon. I have somebody saying they had fairies in their house. I have a friend who lives in Colorado, and she's lived in 2 places, and she's had, I think they're called pudwudgies, but they're a Native American sort of fairy. And when I stayed at her house all night, I said, do you have a wind chime somewhere? I kept hearing these little bells. And she said, oh no, that's my little friends. If you have little friends in your house, warn people that are spending the night. It's a much nicer way to find out. Niece finding work. Yeah, she's going to find work from a dark-haired woman who has money. It's it's going to be quite a lot of work. It's going to be very heavy work for her to do. She's going to have to learn a whole lot quickly, but she's going to be very good at it, even though she's really been she can be kind of young and naive. In the past, she's had terrible work environments. She's never found the people to go to work with, and when she got there, it was just hard sailing. So, yes, she's going to find something this fall. So that's for Celtic Seer. That's for your niece. She's good at handling money. She just doesn't have the training. She needs to kind of go back and get some more education. Oh. How do you put a spiritual tribe together? I don't know. And I never went out and said, I'm trying to find a spiritual tribe. I found some people because I taught classes. And of course, I sat in a wine bar and said, I'm here reading cards. You're going to kind of draw them that way. Look inside yourself and see what you like to do. What do you really, really, really like to do? And try to find those kind of like-minded people that will help you. And I think they need to kind of build organically. You can't all of a sudden one day say, we're all going to be best friends, because that doesn't work. That's why I never joined a sorority in college, because paying money to have friends never seemed fair to me. Thank you, Sue Toffee. Thank you very, very much. Old Painter has some comments, if you want to go read them, about the rising sign is when you first see the light of the sun in your eyes, or that's the horizon that it's on. Yeah, tarot class. Okay, guys, I'm going to teach tarot. I'm getting heavy duty hits from other readers. They want me to do spiritual weight loss or a spiritual program to go along with weight loss, because I have my own. And I really need to have a chance to breathe. I'm starting to pick up grids again. People are starting to want grids again. They're seeing them more and they're wanting them more. So, and a lot of people have been threatening me with, I want my grid for Christmas. If you want a grid for Christmas, you might get a hold of me in October, because it takes time to do these things. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see if the charges will be dropped against your cousin. Yes, but this has been a painful journey, and even though he's not guilty of really where'd this one go? He's not really guilty of doing anything. He put himself in that place to where someone could say that. But it shows the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress coming to his rescue, and the Empress can also kind of substitute sometimes for me for justice. But I think you're going to know by October what the outcome's going to be. Your cousin needs to find some new friends. Okay. Okay. I'm having to read and do things. Okay. Okay. Orange had a question. I didn't see it, so someone has to retype that one because I didn't see it. We're going to do if someone's lease is going to, if they're going to be able to afford to stay where they're living, or is the lease going to go up too much in the fall, when next time it's up. It does this next year. It'll be in 2022. No, you're going to be able to stay there. You're going to find a way to stay there. I don't think it's going to go up that much. I think things are going to happen to the property values around there that are going to change it. So it says no, that you will not have to move. Antoinette, okay, you'll be able to order eggs as soon as I have them in my hand. They'll be available through my website, which is at crystaldirections.com. They'll be in the store. They're not in there right now. I thought we had them made, and then my fabricator got sick, and it ended up the material she was making with the eggs, what she was using to make the eggs, almost killed her. I mean, this is not a joke. She almost died. And so I had the 20 eggs I had, and 10 of them had already gone, and then some more went out, and so I have 7 people because they were ordered on my website, and there were some back ordered. These people have been waiting since May. They'll get the first eggs, and then after that, I will let you know. Trust me, you know what? You may not even have to turn on YouTube to hear me yell. Those damn things are ready. Yeah, Marge, yeah, his friends are a disaster. I had a neighbor once, and his door was kicked in 3 times, and he ran like a floral balloon business thing. And finally I said to him, I said, do you know who's doing this? And he said, oh, I think it may be some people I know. And my only comment to him was, honey, you need to get new friends. You do not need to keep losing that door. Matter of fact, the condos I lived in told him if another door got kicked in and he didn't go ahead and help the cops find them and press charges, we weren't going to pay to fix it. Speaking of moving. Is that a question? Oh, should you update your condo or just walk away? Okay, so we're going to start with update. It'll work either way. What I see is you want to walk away because you just think it's going to be too much trouble. It actually will be less trouble than you think to get it done. It's just, I think it's hard. Is it hard because it was your dad's and it's hard for you to deal with it? But your outcome is you have a chance to make money on this and do some good things with it. So even though it's kind of either way, I would think I would fix it. Unless it's not an area you want to live in, because when I read this question, if it's not a place you want to live, fix it up and sell the sucker. Oh, okay. Okay. Someone's asked about a message from Spirit. And as we all know, I'm a chicken and I don't do mediumship that way. So I'm going to just pull a card, which works just as well. And it saves me from having to relive my teenage trauma of having a ghost try to kill me. From your beloved past mother, I take it your mummy is not like Boris Karloff. I take it you mean mummy like my husband, who is British, had a mummy. Okay. Oh, and it flew out. Oh, she's standing right next to you. She's kind of wondering, why the hell you asking that woman? I'm around you all the time. And that translates into, I'm standing right next to you. As you are having these words read to you, so am I. I am right beside you at this moment. I do respect your privacy and free will and choices that you've made. You'd like me to give you some space, just say so, and I will retreat. But for as long as my presence comforts you, I will stand nearby. Time is very different where I am now. I am no longer in a hurry, nor do I need to multitask. I love it when you talk with me, and I hope you will trust the answers I'm sending you. I send them through your feelings, intuitions, thoughts, and dreams. Our relationship can become much closer now because my old ego defenses aren't as strong as they used to be. I have finally opened my heart fully so I can love you the way you deserve to be loved. I hope that helps. That's a lovely message. And okay. Okay, we're going to pull one last card from my absolutely wonderful positive new deck. And yeah, Boris Karloff was the guy who played the mummy. But I'm sure that's not the mummy she meant. Okay, this is this wonderful new deck of cards that I got that you can't hardly see because it's so glary. But she sent them with wonderful descriptions of what they mean. And I'm going to pull one as our closing for the collective today. And I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Oh, this is lovely. We got the two little kids in their native sort of dance uniforms. Can you kind of see that? Can you see? That's really pretty. And it says, heritage, joy of the past, worth keeping. Discard or modify what you've learned as you need, but to keep the parts that suit you and make you feel happy. And that's the closing card for the day. Aloha. Andrea, we can do that when I see you on our class this week. And next time, and I'm not sure when the next time I'll be up live, but I will hopefully have both cameras working because Tech Sport will come home. And then we can get all that done. And I really appreciate all of you showing up today and on such short notice in a way. And I've got Barbara Odom. If you have gotten a garden but have never gotten a link to take the class, let me know. And for those of you who do have a garden and you didn't take the first class on the day you're supposed to take it, I taped 3 of them. The 4th one I didn't tape because Danny Shea showed up and he and I got talking and we didn't get the record button pushed. But all the other ones are the same thing. So you can kind of go and look at them. And then I'm going to send everybody the public link to the people who own the gardens. It's a private link that you can view on your own and see what we were up to. And you guys have a lovely weekend and pray for cool. I'm always praying this time of year. I'm just sick. We have not had a horrible summer, but I'm praying for cool. So, y'all take care. I'll see you later. If I'm going to see you, I'll see some of you tomorrow.